Yo, 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 this is GC3, and I'm in the place to be here at Dobson High School, 4th Annual Summer Invitational. Boy, what a day it was. I mean, a lot of good games, a lot of good players, and awesome coaches. Again, I love the support, love the energy, but I'm coming in with another mini episode, number 6. And I have some special guests who are very dear to me because, we're going to talk about just kind of like connecting the dots because being able to work alongside these two gentlemen over the years has been a blessing to where I've been able to propel my career to a whole different level. So without further ado, I'm gonna bring on my two special guests, Coach Lual Magot and Vince Lombardi. What is going on, gentlemen?
Nothing much, man. Thank you for having us. Great event so far, man. So thank you.
Great to be here, George. We're at the near the end of the first day, so it's been a long day, but it's been a good day. Some really good basketball.
No, again, I appreciate your guys' support. I remember, meeting, Coach Lombardi at first. This was a few years ago where he was participating, bringing his team up to my events, and I remember, that's how our relationship started, and I ended up meeting Lual as well because his younger sister Achol is a big time prospect, and you're looking at the three-headed monster that kind of helped propel, Chol to getting over to Texas Tech. I mean, it was, some people give me a lot of credit saying, you're the one that did it. You know, I opened the communication between, the coaches there at Texas Tech and as well as connecting them with Coach Lombardi and Coach Lual, and ultimately, we all had very important roles for helping support a Chol to get there to Texas Tech. I mean, I remember the conversation that Vince had when he called me one day, and it was like right before a live period, and you're like, George, like, be honest with me, like what level do you think Chol's at? And I said, she's a surefire Division I prospect. I mean, she had the size, the athletic ability, and a high ceiling of potential to grow. And I told him, hey, just give me a week. Like, give me a week or two. Give me some film over. Let me make some calls and some emails and some texts. And I said, I'm going to work and I'm going to figure this out, and we're going to get this ball rolling. And like, the funny thing was, I first started going with my inner network. The first call I made was to my cousin Adam Tandez out at he's the associate head coach at Northern Illinois University, and he returned my call and we were talking about her, and he was just like, oh, no, no one's recruiting her. Who's recruiting her? And I said, well, you are. You're my cousin. Do me a solid. Look at this kid. She has a ton of upside. And he's like, well, I'm not. She's not even on our board. And then I ended up calling another coach at Cal State Fullerton, who I used to play against in high school. And it's the same thing. He's like, well, who's recruiting her? And I'm like, well, you are. Do me a solid, man. Come on. Like, this kid is the real deal. And again, he kind of just passed it up, and I understand it's hard. I mean, it's hard to take a chance on an unknown kid, but I kept, I was persistent and kept pushing. And then the next thing that kind of was a breakthrough was Coach Eric Baru calls me, and I was like, I don't recognize his number. So I picked it up, and we had like almost a 2 hour long conversation about Achol because I did send him the film. I wrote up an email, and I even sent him a text. And he goes, well, George, I'm interested. I'm sold. Now I got to go back and talk to the head coach. So, can you put me in touch with her club coach? And boom, back then she was playing for Coach Vince Lombardi, entering Coach Lombardi, and Coach Lual, her older brother, was, he's been there. He was an assistant on his staff, and the rest was history. I mean, I remember getting a call a few weeks later And Vince was like, "Hey George, they're starting to call like every day." I go, "Yeah, they'll offer. Give it some time. Like they're gonna come to the games. Right now the assistant really likes her, and they're trying to upsell it to the head coach. So, I'm gonna bring on Vince now, and maybe he can kind of chime in to the story to talk about just that history of that recruiting process that people don't really know."
Yeah. So when I first had Achol, you could tell right away that she had D1 potential, mainly because of her size, but she could get up and down the floor. She was pretty skilled around the basket. She had decent touch on her shot. So she had all she checked all the boxes other than the experience part. So, we were talking about this event. Coach Lual and I were, 2 years ago, we were at this event. I think it was at Post and Butte, and we did pretty good that day. We had a really good team that year. We lost to a really good Sandra Day O'Connor team in the semifinals it was pretty close, but that really kind of kicked off her recruiting was right around that time. And like I've told this story before, you were the one that really opened the door for her as far as, once we started getting the calls from Texas Tech, D1 coaches started falling pretty rapidly after that. So things really started picking up from that point. And I know that, I've told this before too, is that I was getting calls at all hours of the day, night, morning, night, coaches wanting to talk about her, which was cool. That was a good experience to go through. But maybe Lual can talk about what he kind of went through with that process too. It was really, we were all three kind of working with her and getting her name out and trying to get her, situated with some D1 colleges where we thought we could play. And so it was kind of us being back here together now is kind of like a reunion of sorts. It wasn't that long ago where we were really pushing her. But Coach Lual, what do you remember about that process? I know that it was a whirlwind for you and I. And, I didn't really know when she was going to commit until really the last moment. She planned a little get together to announce where she was going to commit, but I didn't know. I had a good idea, but I didn't know. But Coach Lual could probably talk about that story.
Well, that whole journey was pretty interesting. For us, my older brother played D1 ball at Idaho State. The other one played community college. I played community college, JUCO, and when played at next level. So we all already had that experience, dealing with coaches going on visits. So it wasn't too hard for us, but it was narrowing down the list. There was a couple of big name schools. But it was tough, because you're getting calls here and there. So that was really, really interesting. I think the moment we knew when we went to, he and my other brother went on a visit, and I went to a Texas Tech visit. And goodness, that place, the minute we landed, and it was just crazy. The atmosphere, the coaches there were really awesome, and just the facilities are just incredible. And
What did it come down to? What was her final 2 or 3 schools?
So the top, it was between McNeese State, which is a really good program run by Coach Kennedy. They're really, really awesome over there. And Coach Young, who was coaching there too as well, really pretty good guy. So it came down to them and Texas Tech. But I think the minute we came back from Texas Tech, we had another interview set up for BYU. And after that visit, we're like, yeah, Texas Tech is the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Gerlich's been really, really awesome, and it's really just awesome, man. It's been an incredible journey so far. And, her getting back to playing right now after an ACL injury last year, she's been working hard. So I'm excited to see her play, man.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, Coach, talk about the night that Coach Gerlich came over to your house. She came for a visit, and her plane was delayed. She was coming from New York City on another recruiting trip, and she got into Tucson late. And we met like after one of our practices about 8:30, 9 o'clock at Coach Lual's house. and it was a really cool meeting. But talk about that meeting and how she left it. Like, she was like, "I'm committed to you. What are you gonna do?" She kind of laid it out all out on the line for Achol that night, and I'll let Coach tell the story about how that went down.
Yeah, Coach had a plan. When her flight was delayed, she let us know. So, I know her and Coach Lombardi had lunch before. They came to the house. We sat. I can't remember how long, but we were there for a while. A couple of hours. But Coach had a plan. Had a whole pamphlet with the schedule, everything that they want her to focus on. What their plan is for her. And, just going through all that, I was mind blown. You know what I mean? Like, they want you. You want to go somewhere where you're wanted and needed. And Texas Tech was the spot to be, Coach Gerler and staff, just like I said, they're pretty incredible.
And that's pretty much what she said too, right? She said, what are we waiting for?" She kind of left it like that.
Yeah, so from that moment, we're like, no need
Yeah.
for more visits.
She sold the deal right there. She really did close the deal out. It was really cool to watch.
No, that's just an amazing, story, and I'm just glad that we're all together here to kind of talk about it, so people know, the history and significance of this event. I mean, there's many other events that are out there, and there's many people that question, like, what kind of connections that I have, and what do I really do behind the scenes, because people don't really know. And again, I appreciate both of you coming on to tell this story, tell our story, because again, this is the Summer Invitational. Used to be, it was rebranded. It was called the Summer Clash, and I ended up rebranding it to the Summer Invitational. But Achol played in this event. I scouted her, I evaluated her, and just like these two gentlemen, I also believed in her. They made me believe in this young lady, that she was capable of playing at the highest level, at the next level, and here it is. I mean, she's at Texas Tech. Recovered from an injury, but now she's ready to go. And again, I'm just super excited, to see that journey for her, and I'm excited to see what the future holds, because for those who don't know, she's 6'7", probably about 6'9" with basketball shoes on, and she plays with a lot of intensity, and it's super exciting, to see, a kid that started at playing in my event, and then being able to get to know her, get to know her coaches, her brother, her family, and just kind of help guide them through the process and help promote her as well. So again, thank you guys for joining me on the cast. I really appreciate you guys.
Well, Coach Lual owes us for getting the head job at Sabino too, right, George? I mean, we had to have something to do with that, right? No, I just want to say real quick, we were so proud and happy that Lual got the head job there at Sabino to kick off his career as a coach. Him and I had a lot of conversations when he was coaching with us, and I knew right away that this was something that he wanted to do, that he was going to be really good at. He really did. He had a great communication with the kids. His energy is just off the charts. He's always got high energy. He gets everybody to feel that energy too when he's coaching. So I knew that this was going to be his path, or at least was hoping. So glad that he has got this opportunity, and who knows where he's going to end up. But my guess is he's going to go as far as he wants to go.
Thank you for that, man. Shout out to these two awesome gentlemen, man. All it takes is for one or two people to believe in you. You know what I mean? That's all it takes. That's what it took for my sister to get to where she's at. Because Lombardi here believed in her. The same as George over here, So all it takes is one or two people to believe in you. And thank you, gentlemen, for having me on here. It's a great event. The girls been playing really, really hard, and I'm just excited, man. It's always a great day to be a SaberCat.
No, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you. And I'm going to let you guys get back. I know Coach Lombardi is going to be out there continuing to do player evals. And Coach Lual is going to round up his team and, kind of get ready for their next game. So, again, thank you guys for joining us. All right, guys, for more exclusive content, make sure you tap in. you give us a follow. Stay tuned. We're going to be here on YouTube all weekend long. Peace.